Shalom, Akiba Schechter family. I hope you're doing well. This Shabbat, we will read Parshat Yitro. And of all the different aspects that make up the narrative of Parshat Yitro, the one that I think stands out for the vast majority of people is that of the reading of the 10 Commandments. In Hebrew, we call it Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 statements. I'd like to point out 2 of those 10 to you, because I believe that they speak to one another. That is, when you list them out, the first 5 and the second 5, you will notice the first one and the sixth one line up together. Let's just imagine we have them on tablets, like Moshe Rabbeinu did. The first 5 and the second 5. The first one and the sixth one would then be horizontal next to each other. And the first one I'll read to you in English. It says, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. It is a statement identifying God to the Jewish people. And the 6th commandment reads, you shall not murder. What do these 2 have to do with one another? We learn a teaching from the Midrash that states that if you murder somebody, it is as if you are diminishing God's presence in the world. Let's unpack this for a moment. If we human beings are made, as Sefer Breshit, the book of Genesis, teaches us, B'Tselem Elokim, in God's image, then all humans have a bit of the divine, a bit of God embedded within them. And if one life is taken away, a little bit of God in that life has been reduced, diminished. And it's interesting because we have another teaching in the Talmud that says a very similar thing, though in a different way. It's about human relationships and about the way that we interact with people. In the Talmud in Tractate Baba Metzia, the middle gate, on page 58b, the backside of the folio page, the Talmud equates embarrassing somebody to murder. I'd like to share with you a small aspect of that piece of Talmud. I'm actually pulling it up on my iPhone right now. How cool is that? The Talmud says, Tnei Tana Kameh de Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak. The Tana taught in front of Rabbi Nachman, the son of Yitzchak, Kol hamalbim penei chavero barabim ki'ilu shofech damim. Anyone who humiliates, embarrasses another in public, meaning in front of other people, it is as though that person were spilling the other's blood. What happens when we get embarrassed? Have you ever noticed? It's hard to see yourself when you're embarrassed, but have you ever noticed somebody else when they're embarrassed? I've witnessed 2 things that have taken place. One is either the person's face fills up with redness. It's as if all the blood is rushing to one part. It's not so healthy from what I understand. Or the opposite occurs, and that is they turn completely pale, white. It's as if all their blood is being let out, is being depleted from them. And why the vast majority of us are not going to go ahead, thank God, and violate murdering somebody, thus reducing God's presence in the world. It is more regular that by accident, we may, by accident, embarrass somebody. We're joking around with our friends, our family members, and we may say something that we didn't mean to. and it embarrasses that person. So what do we do in that case? Because the Talmud sees that also as a very serious offense. Seems to me the best thing to do would be to turn around to that person and apologize. Say, I'm sorry. I did not mean to embarrass you. If the case merits, we were only kidding around and it got carried away. Humans, all of us, are made B'Tselem Elohim in God's divine image. And it is God's image, us, his creation, that make this world such a magnificent place. It enables all the miracles to flourish on a daily basis. And so I caution all of us in the way we speak to one another, even when we're joking around. We want to be a little careful. And if we do embarrass somebody by mistake, then let's own that and let's apologize to that person, because we do not want to diminish God in this world by hurting God's holy creatures, humanity. Shabbat Shalom.